Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good.
Good.
What's on tap today?
It's our 100th episode.
It is indeed. Hard to believe.
It's exciting. Why is it hard to believe?
Well, the only thing we've done consistently longer is be parents. So we usually get distracted by stuff.
That's
The
true.
fact that we've done 100 of these is impressive.
Distracted or busy?
Yeah, busy makes it seem more adult. Yeah, we're busy. We get busy.
Well, how many games were we at this weekend at the rink? And it's
8.
Yeah.
8 in 2 days.
Yeah.
Like I spent from 7 a.m. Well, and you add the other ones. Actually, I saw 10 games last night.
Yeah.
All told, I saw 10 games in total. So I spent from 7 until 10 o'clock at rinks yesterday, basically.
And the day before wasn't quite as early, but
10.
it was still as late.
Yeah, it was 10 to 10.
So long days. Takes a lot. Kids take a lot of time.
Yeah, they really do. And then they got the audacity to complain that we don't have enough eggs for them to amuse themselves baking with. I'm like, dude, walk to the store.
Oh, yeah. And I just threw one out. Oh, I shouldn't have thrown the third one out. It was cracked, though.
That was disease waiting to happen. I don't even know what she's baking.
Yeah, I didn't know she was making.
But it's perfectly timed because, as with most of her baking projects, I just cleaned the kitchen.
Oh, shoot. She can't use the oven.
Well, then you might want to tell her.
All right. Apparently, she doesn't need the oven. She only needs the stove.
Yeah.
Because the oven is filled with glass.
Yeah, this new oven stove sucks. It's the worst.
Yeah. I legitimately just thought the dog crashed something. I didn't realize it was the stove shattering everything to pieces.
Yeah. So Kenmore Elite, you guys can go back to the drawing board with your induction stoves. They're brutal.
They are terrible. She kept her old one. See, old is good.
Dude, the old one had a crack in it, almost as old as our youngest daughter.
I know, but it still worked.
It was not working. Both the fans had died.
It's still working, still cooking food. It wasn't shattering glass in it.
No.
It doesn't turn off every time.
Yeah, the touch, I don't understand why they put touch buttons on an induction glass top stove.
I can't tell you how many times I thought meals were happily cooking along on the stovetop, and just to find out that it somewhere along the way turned off.
It's really crappy.
Yeah,
it's one of the worst design things I've ever seen. Anywho, welcome to Parents on Appliances.
Yes. So for today, I thought we would do the top 100 things parents need to know. I don't know if we'll actually get to the top 100.
My word.
So we're going to do...
So why don't you do this? You rapid fire them, and if one catches my attention, we'll stop.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
I will, but we got to do the first top 10. I was going to do like a Family Feud thing, but we don't have time for like the showdown and the money round.
And the kids wouldn't understand it anyways. They've never watched a day of Family Feud in their life.
Exactly. But I'll just have you guess and I'll just buzz you. Oh, I should have brought our taboo buzzer. I can make it. I'll just do it with my voice.
This already sounds like a bad idea, but let's go.
It's going to be fun. I'm already energized. I was tired and grumpy, and now I'm energized at the fact that I'm going to buzz you with my mouth.
Phrasing. This is a family show.
Buzz you. Like, make this buzzing sound.
Okay.
See, you don't have to go there. That's the...
Dude, me and the listener both thought the same thing at the exact same time. All right, so in the comments section, feel free to weigh in on your initial reaction to buzz you with my mouth. Like, unbelievable.
Okay, top 10.
Yeah. So what am I supposed to do with this?
Survey says, well,
okay.
Guess.
Okay.
And then I will make a buzzing sound with my mouth, with my vocal cords.
Do you really need your vocal cords for the buzz?
Well, that's how you make a sound.
All right.
Because if I don't use my vocal cords, it would just come out. Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's do this.
Nothing. Okay, go.
What is the question?
What are the top 10 things that parents need to know? I'm failing already.
What are the top 10 things that parents need to know? How to change a diaper? That's not how Family Feud works.
It's not on the survey. The survey board. So
you're stepping over. You're not doing any of the flair.
That's why I said we don't have time to do it normally. So I'm just going to make an sound when you say something that's
All right.
not
So
on the
it's
top 10.
top 10 is not that. Top 10 is how to cook,
Eh.
how to communicate.
Yes. Ding, ding. Number 2, effective communication. So fostering open and honest communication with your child.
Okay.
So that means listening.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Sure, need 3 explanations on how to do a simple game.
I'm still fixated on mouth buzzing. Okay. Next guess. 10's a lot. Just so we know. I've gotten 1 out of 3 guesses here. Drugs are bad.
Eh.
Social media monitoring.
Oh, I should put that in there, but it's not. But I'm not going to buzz you on that because that's a really good one.
Thank you.
Monitoring social media. Yep.
What about like cell phone moderation?
Well, that would all be under that kind of stuff.
Okay. So I've really still only got 1.
Yep.
Well, this is turning out to be a big hit. Don't do that. Okay. So what are the top 10 things that parents need to know?
Maybe I'll give you 20 chances starting now.
Even a hint. Maybe if you just did a hint.
Well, you're on the right path with stuff like effective communication.
All right. Emotion regulation.
Well, how though? Like, what would you be
Teaching
doing?
the kids how to emotionally regulate or conflict resolution.
Well, that's effective communication.
Oh my God. I'm working here. It's a lot more brain power usage than I wanted. Okay. So I'm on the right track. Critical thinking.
No.
Is it top 50?
Well, I don't know. I only can fit 10 on a page, so it might come eventually, but we're focusing on the top 10.
The producers of the show are failing you. Social interactions? Like, are these obvious?
Yeah, as soon as I say them, you're like, oh.
But it's not like I'm picking dumb answers like how to build a campfire. Like, these are all decent.
They're all good. I'm sure they're in the top 100. They're just not in the top 10.
The list is only top 100.
I know. So I'm sure they're in there somewhere. Okay, I'll give you limits. I mean, because that was around, you said social media. So limits is setting appropriate limits for and expectations for behaviors and then consequences when we go outside of those. So I'll give you 2.
All right. Parents need to know. Yeah, I don't know if I'm.
Okay, unconditional love is number 1. So providing your child with love.
Come on.
What?
Well, yeah. This list should be broken up into just common sense. It's on the table regardless.
But we don't. There's a lot of conditional love that I see all the time about getting better grades or doing this better or cleaning your room better. Or there's always conditions on kids for everything. There's a contingency on everything. And so children need to know that regardless of their mess ups, regardless of their mistakes, regardless if they scream at you, regardless of any of that, we still love them and we're still going to support them.
All right. That's fair.
So I think that's important.
That is fair.
Don't get mad at me.
I'm not mad at you. I'm annoyed that it was number 1. Seems to just be a foregone conclusion.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's why it's number 1 and therefore number 1.
It was the worst justification ever. You just repeated it's number 1 3 different ways. Okay, so unconditional love, effective communication. You gave me a pity answer with the set limits, responsibilities. Give your kids responsibilities or teach them responsibility.
Well, okay, so I'll flex that. Routine, so establishing daily routines.
Sure.
To create stability and predictability. That's number 7.
Okay.
And you know what? I'll give you number 3 as well, which is consistency. So maintaining consistent rules and boundaries in your approach. So they know if I do this, I know that mom and dad are always going to respond in this way. Because normally we're not, not you and me, but parents will be like, that's it. And then they throw ridiculous consequences out that the children never could have faced. Or sometimes they're super nice and then other times they're super mean.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So how many have we got now? 5?
Yep.
What else do you need to teach your kids?
A lot of it is what you do and show. It's not about teaching.
So what parents should be modeling, sort of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Would accountability fall into that, or is it one of the other categories already? Like to teach them to be accountable or to...
That might be future. This is more just creating the foundation of emotional well-being and self-esteem.
Well, then we're talking about self-esteem as well. It's to provide some sort of affirmation or help build their confidence.
Okay.
Effective feedback, positive feedback.
Yeah, positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
So we're giving them that praise, positive reinforcement to encourage their strengths, good behavior, things that we, like to see, effort, all of those things. Yep. Good job. Good job.
Did I say consequence? And I don't mean that in a negative thing, but just that there's an action.
Well, that goes with the limits.
Yeah.
So we're setting limits and then consequences. And consequences aren't punishment.
No, that's, yeah.
That. But consequence could be the positive praise and affirmation.
That's what I meant by not negative, right? Like there's always an outcome of a situation. We've already kind of talked about express emotion would be under communication, right?
Expressing
emotion.
Well, empathy is number 4. So understanding their perspective, their thoughts, their feelings, their experiences.
Okay.
So that would be important. And listener, you should be guessing too, because then you can see.
And then there should be a validation within the empathy too, right? I'm assuming.
And that's what that is. Yeah. It's understanding and validating. Yeah. Those experiences.
So we're missing like 3 more.
Yeah.
Modeling. Oh, I would probably say, respectful behavior, like treating their spouse with respect as a model of how to treat others with respect, sort of thing.
That's actually 11. It fits on my page, so I'll give it to you.
Well, shrink your font down so I've got more.
Well, though I know. But it's showing respect to your child as well, modeling respectful behavior. Oftentimes we don't. We expect it from them, but then we'll go continuously listening. Or, sorry, the next one is active listening, which is part of the validating and empathy. But yeah, respectful to each other in the family.
All right.
Maybe I'll just give you another couple seconds here.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm stretching it as it is. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. Let's just dive through it.
So 5. So 1 was unconditional love.
Yeah.
2, effective communication.
Yeah.
3, consistency. 4, empathy. 5, quality time. So spending quality time with our kids, engaging in activities that they enjoy, just feeling like they belong. It's really important. 6, positive reinforcement. 7, routines. 8, limits. 9, self-care. Taking care of your own physical and mental health so that you can be a better parent. And number 10 is patience, being patient with your child because they are learning. They're going to make mistakes, right? And it's all part of that development. And especially with the big emotions, I think that that's important. So do you want me to rapid fire and then you'll stop any?
Yeah, however you want to do the next section. I mean, we can break it down. I'm assuming it covers the whole, like 100 things that we need to know?
Yeah. Okay. Or to think about, in parenting. And so I guess as I go through this list, each of us can do this, but I think the listener too, focus on, maybe pick a couple, 1 or 2. You're like, oh yeah, I could really work on that, just to take a takeaway that it's something you can focus on.
So when we do this, why don't you rapid fire the next 10 and we'll figure out which one we think we can take away from that group. How about that?
Okay. Sounds good. And they're not grouped in any category or anything. But I do think, I don't want to give 100 to overwhelm. Oh my gosh, I'm doing 98 of these wrong. It's just about things that we can think about because there's so many. I hate those books, like everything you need to know or what to expect when you're expecting. Like it's too much information. It's fear mongering. Yeah. Like it's just terrible. But so look at this, not at what you're doing wrong, but what you could do better. So 11, respect. 12, active listening. 13, boundaries. So personal boundaries and consent. 14, empowerment. So making good choices, solving problems independently. That's that autonomy. 15, nutrition. Providing balanced diet, teaching healthy eating habits. 16, sleep, ensure your child's getting adequate sleep for their age. And learning, I would throw on there, being able to soothe themselves as well, and to get to sleep. And if they wake up.
I think that becomes harder as they get older though, too, right? Like when they're little, you can control a lot of that sleep schedule and kind of the how much of it they're getting or the quality that they're getting. That's one thing I noticed that we have less and less control over as the kids are getting older, right? Because even when they go to bed, you can still hear them moving around.
And that's fine, but we still set up the same consistent boundaries. And I mean, Maya's great. Like 8:30, she's usually, okay, I'm tired.
But she's not going to bed until like 11:30.
But that's okay because, I mean, it's not ideal, but we can't force them to actually go to sleep, right? But as long as we are still modeling and creating those boundaries around that, that's important. Like TV off at 8 o'clock, and then we start getting ready for bed. And 17, physical activity. So promoting physical activity and exercise. And that's so important in childhood and teenage years, just because it's so much harder to establish when we're adults. And that's why so many adults struggle with it. But if we create it, and I think that's why it's so easy for me. I started working out when I was 8. I was going to the gym in high school.
Yeah.
So I would have been 14, 15, every morning going to the gym. And so that's definitely by the teenage years, a good time. 18, here you go. Screen time, monitoring and limiting screen time for children.
It's interesting that it's so late in the list. But anyways.
Yeah. 19, education. So supporting their educational goals, providing a stimulating environment. And I would add to that, promoting their love of learning.
Mm-hmm.
That's so important, their love of reading. And so we model that. And that brings me actually to reading. So reading with them, to them from an early age. And we continue, even though we've got teenagers now, we're still modeling that. We're reading.
Well, and we do that all the time, right? Because that's our breakaway from the outdoor and from even just defaulting to a movie or TV show or something.
Yeah. 21, play, encouraging imaginative, unstructured play. And that's still important, even in teenagers, just having fun. Here's the 22, responsibility. So teaching them responsibility. It could be chores, tasks, all of those things. Social skills, because they really do come from us. So helping them develop social skills, empathy towards others. 24 is independence. So more and more independence as they get older. 25, friendships. So lots of opportunities to build friendships.
Yeah.
I'm surprised emotion regulation is 26, but that's teaching them healthy ways to manage their emotions. 27, problem solving, encouraging critical thinking and problem solving skills. 28, which is actually number 1 on my list, but 28 on this list is resilience. So fostering resilience by helping them cope with challenges. 29, self-esteem, promoting positive self-image and self-esteem. 30, kindness, modeling, encouraging kindness and empathy towards others. Anything that jump out at you there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm finding it more surprising as the list goes higher that if it's ranked by importance, that things like empathy and resilience are so far down the list. Like those to me seem to be.
And I would say every family has their own values.
Yeah.
So from one family to this is just the list that I happen to have. It's not evidence-based or anything like that. But on your own values, I mean, I'll have it, even if we don't make it all the way to 100, I'll have the full list in the show notes for everybody. So you can go through and really highlight what are those key values that are important. And I would narrow it down to the top 5 things. And maybe there's overarching things. Like for me, it would be emotion regulation, resilience would be one overarching. But then within that is empathy, active listening, independence. There'd probably be little things that we could do, turn them into actionables to promote those things.
Yeah.
Okay. Should I keep going?
Yep.
Safety. Funny. Stranger danger. Right. After our last episode, well, I think it was a couple few weeks ago, whatever, about stranger danger.
Yeah.
It's funny that that's on the list, but just personal safety and managing those. Bullying, addressing and preventing bullying behavior.
So I have a question on that. This isn't an opinion thing. So we've talked about it before. Has bullying become a catch-all for any sort of conflict behavior?
I think in certain situations, because I certainly work with children who are being bullied.
100%.
By adults, I would say, and children, for sure. But then, let's take the example that I had with one of my students the other day, where, so I do online teaching. It's a Master of Counseling program. And one of the students didn't show up the first week. And we have a policy. If students don't show up the first week, they have to take the class at a different time. It was actually the end of the second week. And I was reaching out to saying, hey, what's going on? It's the end of the second week. And the response was essentially that I was a bully and that they were feeling very attacked. And how dare I? So in that case, then it's I think it is. But what are your, what made you bring that up?
Well, it's just, it just popped out at me that it's on there as one of the, right? One of the things that you need to, to me, it's not about recognizing and preventing bullying. It's about conflict resolution and situational awareness.
Right.
Not everything can be bullying, but everybody paints it as bullying. Right.
That's true.
I said something that you don't like, quit being a bully. Right. And it's like, yeah, but your shirt sucks. That's why I said your shirt sucks. It's not bullying. I don't like that shirt. Right. Now, obviously there are degrees, but I think by expanding the definition of bullying to include, call them lesser offenses, right, that are relatively benign when you take a look at them, you actually weaken the ability to monitor and manage true bullying, right, which is emotional and physical, I guess, influence, oppression, whatever you want to call it, from another individual that has a long-standing negative effect on a person, right? Walking by and saying something negative or saying that you don't like something, or in the case that you just said, reaching out to say, hey, just to let you know, this is the policy. I want to see if you're okay. To have that immediately lumped into being bullying is like, well, what's worse? I could have kept my mouth shut and not told you anything, and you got a letter from the college saying you were out of this class. What's worse? Right? But they don't think of that. And so to me as parents,
or the corrective feedback, right? Like it's just corrective. And from adult, that's where I find it's worse, is with adults. You're giving them corrective feedback to help support them, to promote their success. And now all of a sudden they feel bullied.
Like I would say, I would rather on this list, it would be more important, to remove bullying and replace it with teach your kids how to take feedback, positive or negative, validate it, and then move forward with it. Because if you go through life feeling that you are infallible, then you are going to grow up to be a useless human being, right? Any sort of stressful situation will be seen as something that is an absolute put upon you, and it shouldn't be your responsibility to deal with, and blah, blah. Sometimes things are hard, right? And by not teaching our kids how to look at their weaknesses as an opportunity to improve, or look at their mistakes as an opportunity to improve, we are robbing them from the ability of reaching their full potential. Right. And I'm not talking about everybody's going to be an astronaut through this, but literally going to the grocery store and feeling like you're so put upon because there's other people at the grocery store, then they're so rude to me and they're this and they're that. No, they're just trying to get through their day as well. Is it annoying sometimes? Sure. But that doesn't give you the right to blow up and lose your mind because someone said something to you like, excuse me, can you move your cart? Right. So that would be my own feedback on that, is bullying is overused. Save it for those that truly need it. Everything else is just an inconvenience, and you need to learn how to maturely deal with it. And that's what the kids need to learn.
And I wonder, is there, like, I don't want to be, because I've experienced so much ageism in my own life, but do you think that there's a generational piece here too? Because it feels like
the younger generation, with their rock and roll on our front yard. Yeah, there's definitely generational differences. I would say, to be honest, it's us as the older generation, or part of the older generation. It's our fault.
Well, absolutely.
Right. We've created this through things like taking away our kids' ability to deal with difficult situations, to learn how to respond to difficult situations, to take criticism and make it into a positive, because we want to protect them. Right. As a collective, we see our job as protecting them from everything, and it's not. And that's what I think the conversation needs to shift to is, yes, there is 100% a generational difference, right? It's funny, there's a meme I was going to send you. It comes back to the Gen X stuff that we were talking about, but it summarizes it perfectly. And I'll quickly go through it. So the question is asked, am I fat? A boomer's response is, you could lose a few pounds. Millennials' response is, no, you're beautiful. Gen Z's is, we don't body shame. Of course you're not. Gen X, I know 5 fat people and you're 4 of them. That's the difference, right? That's how you summarize the generational differences. But it's true, right? Like, people see adversity as oppression. And it's not the same thing. I can look at you and say, I don't agree with you. I don't like your stance on something. I don't think you're doing a good job at this. People take that as a valuation of them as a human being and immediately become defensive and rally people to them that you can't say that to them. Well, who else is going to help them be better? Right? What's the old mantra from old like night books and stuff, where it's like steel sharpens steel, right? It's you don't get better through standing still and not experiencing things. You
Yeah.
And some things will hurt you, and some things will leave a scar. Some things will leave. That's when you want people to rally around you and support you moving through it. But to expect people to modify their behavior to avoid you ever having to have a negative feeling just weakens you over time. And I get it. There are days when I've had enough. Like it feels like it's too much. It's too much stress. Everything seems to be going wrong. And you have two choices, right? You can paint your worldview in that forever, or you can get to the point of that negative down cycle and realize that the only way forward is, or the only way to go is forward, right? You push through it because there are always better options, alternatives, whatever. And I'll learn from that. Yeah. It's something either about the situation I don't want to be in or myself and how better to respond to it. If we take it away and paint everything negative as an oppressive bully or whatever, you are removing the kid's ability to better themselves. That I think is the way I encapsulate what annoys me the most about this bully movement. It's not all bullying.
And I think we've talked about it lots here. My whole other podcast is all about this. And our brain, like we are built to survive and thrive through adversity. And we really are robbing our kids of all of those, even trauma. I mean, our brain has the systems to be able to release oxytocin so that we come together. So when you hear of, tsunamis and earthquakes that are wiping out hundreds and thousands of, people and homes, and people rally together, it brings us together, right? And we grow stronger from it. Mm-hmm. Not that we need to have those extreme things, but I think it was Roosevelt, just to add to one of the quotes, I think it was Roosevelt, I could be wrong, but said something like, a skilled sailor or a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor.
Does not a skilled sailor make, or something.
Something like that, right?
And it's true.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that the important thing for parents, we kind of got stuck on this, but this is an interesting conversation. But I think what parents need to look at is, if you go back to the other stuff on this list that's listed as empathy, communication, right, emotion regulation stuff, how do you teach those without having your kid go through those negative pieces?
Yeah.
Right? You're not teaching them emotion regulation by saying, speak up for yourself if you don't like it, right? Sure, that's part of it. But to then tack on that person needs to modify their behavior because you're incapable of modifying or managing your emotional response, that's inappropriate, right? It's what we talked about before. Someone saying they're offended by something is one of the most useless phrases ever put together. That offends me. Okay, right? There's nothing I should have to do to modify that. Now, obviously, there are situational constructs that would modify that. Like if someone is doing something overtly negative that is harmful, yeah, they got to modify their behavior. But if someone is saying an opinion that you don't like, we as a society have built it as that is an immediate, you as the person that said it need to correct your behavior, and that's not it. That's not it. And we as parents, to teach our kids these other lessons and these other skills, need to get comfortable with them having a bad day.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's not like, so being empathetic and validating, just to go back to that point, it's not reassuring and taking the pain away. And I think that's what a lot of parents equate that to. Oh, I'm listening and I'm empathy and I'm doing all of these things, so I'm going to take away their pain. No, we're sitting in it. We're going to sit in that pain. Yeah. And then what are you going to do? Yeah. It sucks. I'm not going to swoop in and fix it. Yeah. We're going to sit here with it. And now, kiddo, what are you going to do? Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that just, it was lost in translation somewhere along the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe I'll just go to top 50.
Sure.
Is that good?
Yeah, that works.
We might be here forever, but I'll keep the list.
We can do a part 2. We can do episode.
That's true.
100.5.
And it feels good because, we've actually touched on a lot of these in our episodes too.
Yeah. Because why? Parents of the Year.
Awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Sex education.
Nope.
So providing age-appropriate sex education.
Here's a funny thing about that. Willow, most recently, I don't know how we got on the topic of it. Well, there's 2 things.
Fallopian tube song.
Oh, God, that's hilarious. One of her friends created a song, and it's literally her singing fallopian tubes over and over again for like 4.5 minutes. And she did a rap remix. She's done a folk version. All only have the two words fallopian tubes.
And then Willow was like, what are fallopian tubes? And I think she was hesitant because I think she knew. But then when I went to it, she's like, okay, I'm done.
But we had a friend recently that reached out. I was talking to him and didn't reach out. We were talking to him, and his youngest, who is quite young, has started to have her period. And as the only male in a house of women, I had to get comfortable with it real quick, right? But Willow actually brought it up after the fact. She's like, it doesn't bother you, does it? I'm like, I don't care. Like, I really don't care, right? Like, it's they'll hate that I say this, but I've wiped poop from your butt. The fact that you've matured enough that you're having a period is the absolute least gross thing that I've ever seen of you. But she made a comment that...
And our dog, every so often, will go into the garbage and bring out...
the worst.
Tampons.
That's the worst. There's nothing worse than walking upstairs and starting to see a trail of shredded cotton pieces. And you're like, hang on a second. We don't use cotton balls in this house. So what am I about to... Yep, there it is. There it is. But she made a comment that, and I don't know how, but I think she had discussed it with her friends, or it came up in sex ed that week at school or something. And the resounding response was, nobody else's fathers will ever have that conversation.
Wow.
And let's take grain of salt. I'm sure there's a bit of, overselling in it to be dramatic in the story, but...
Yeah. And possibly their own comfort levels too. I went straight to my dad only because I was freaking out, and we never had the talk.
Yeah.
And he was the one home, and he just stood there frozen and was like, talk to your mother. But
right.
Anyway.
And that's the old traditional style, right? Whereas I think when Maya started, sorry, Maya, to out you, if you didn't want us talking about your personal details. But when that started, I had to go to the store that day and get it for her. Like, get her all the stuff, because you texted me and said, hey, I need you this. Right. And it's
and you've been getting tampons and stuff for me since we started dating, and like
months after we started dating. You mind picking some up? Yeah, sure. That's fine. That's when, at the end of the day, you might as well just tell me to go get toilet paper. It's the equivalent thing, right? Yeah. In the broad scheme of things. But she was legitimately surprised at how chill I was about it, when really I just, it's interesting to me. So I would say the one thing I would take away from that is, dudes, if you're out there and you've got daughters that have yet to encounter this, the best thing you can do is just deal with it. Even if it weirds you out, save it for when you're in the bathroom after they've left the room, and just work it out on your own. Because at the end of the day, they're not going to feel any more comfortable talking to you about other stuff that is more in your wheelhouse if they can't come to you with something as big as that.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally. And knowing how rigid, and just in case he listens, I won't use too many adjectives, but just knowing your friend, he seemed pretty chill about it too.
He was fine. Like, he and I had the conversation where he was more laughing about it than anything else. And I was teasing him of why would she have picked that parent to have the conversation with?
Yeah.
But in retrospect, it is the first thing, and it's early for her, right? Like, and so I think he's good with pretty much anything. Like, he never usually freaks out. But it was funny that I think he wasn't expecting it so soon, and he's only ever had a son before that, right? So it is something that new for him. So it's fun to watch him try and deal with that. And it's not like it's a monumental thing.
And she's so nonchalant, just asking this and that and all these questions.
Just peppering him, and boy, did it ever quiz his sex ed knowledge. Guaranteed he failed that class. But yeah, so it's interesting to me. I think as a dad of daughters, you really got to prepare yourself for those, what you would perceive to be off limit conversations from when you were growing up, right? It was not something you talked about. Well, you're going to have to talk about it, right? You're going to have to be prepared to talk about it, and you're going to have to be prepared to support them through it. Even if you're not, taking the mother role and explaining exactly how everything works, you showing up with a box and handing it to them so that they know that they can ask for it is probably one of the most important things you could do.
Absolutely. So, and that's when we're talking about unconditional positive regard and, effective open communication. I mean, we're laying the groundwork for them to feel comfortable to talk to us about anything, even those sorts of things. And we want them to. Totally. I want them to come with everything, that they're stressing out about and everything else. So
unless it's boys.
But especially boys.
No, let's talk about boys. Don't talk to boys. Don't talk about boys.
Don't talk about. Yeah, I won't. say anything inappropriate. See, hey, good impulse control. I just stopped myself.
Look at you go. Somebody remembered her meds today.
There's some good ones in here though that'll be good for us. We should flag these for future episodes. We have done a episode on sex education before. So moving on, body image. So promoting healthy body image and self-acceptance, boundaries with technology. So before it was around use, like how much you're using, but this one is safe and responsible use.
How you're using it, yeah.
Yeah, because that's really important. Drug and alcohol awareness. So educating them about the risks of substance abuse, cultural awareness, so tolerance and respect for diversity, financial literacy, so introducing basic, and we've talked about that too, financial concepts as they grow, time management, so learning time management skills, goal setting, conflict resolution, mindfulness, which is so important, especially when we talk about resilience, gratitude, environmental awareness and environmental responsibility, volunteerism, academic support. We kind of already talked about education, but career exploration. So just supporting their interests now and in the future, creativity. So
would you say there's any, sorry to cut you off. Would you say that there's any career interests that you would put a hard stop to if the girls expressed it?
It's funny that you say that because Maya always wanted to be a police officer. And it's funny. And I don't, because I always wanted to be a police officer myself. But it's funny talking with other police officers. They're like, no, I need to go talk with her and tell her, no, that is never going to happen. So no, I would say I would not. I'm open to her doing anything that she wants to, but it's funny other people's opinions. But why did you bring that up?
It was to make probably a crass joke that there's probably a couple of industries the girls need to avoid.
Like?
Well, I never want my kids to be on OnlyFans. That's for sure.
What fans?
OnlyFans.
What's that?
It is a subscription-based platform where girls are basically showing off as
Body
much
parts.
Whatever they want in whatever fashion they want and making millions.
Oh.
Like millions. There was one story, an article I read where some teacher got fired because one of the students found her OnlyFans account. And so the school fired her. And she's like, I only did it because I don't make enough money as a teacher. And this was supplemented. And once it went big, she started making $1 million a month sort of thing, like just crazy money. Anyways. So I'd say anything like that. Exploitative, I'd probably put my foot down.
Man, I could probably make tens of millions.
Yeah, man.
What is this thing? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my word.
I would never do that.
Oh my word.
See, money is not the top of my values. See, that's where it comes back to values. And anyway.
Well, I was just going to say on the police one, it's funny that you use that as an example because a friend of mine from way back reached out and we reconnected recently, and he is a decades-long police officer at this point, right, nearing 3 decades. And he reached out and was very friendly. He's like, I got to reconnect with my friends. He's like, I want to reconnect with my friends outside of the force because
service. I won't correct you anymore.
You can correct me as much as you want. It's obviously not settling. So I'm gonna keep calling. Yes. Brand it however they want. It is there's a lot more force than service in CPS. But it was interesting to have his take, right? Because I even made a comment. I'm like, because he started the conversation when we got together, basically saying, I really got immersed in that lifestyle and that kind of community. And I said, well, you probably had to a certain degree, right? Like you're going through stuff that nobody else can relate to. And it was very interesting because he was gung-ho. Like he couldn't wait, was very rigid in kind of how he approached life, frowned upon certain younger person pursuits, right? As not the path and nobody should do it and whatever. And to hear him talk about it now, there's almost a bit of, I don't want to say regret, because I don't think he regrets anything he's done, but there's a recognition that it wasn't as cut and dry as it ended up being. It didn't need to be, right? And I think that might be the only regret he has, is that there was lost amounts of time. And I mean, everybody has their own path, so there's no negative feelings back, right? Like it was nice to see him. It was great to reconnect. Hopefully we'll see him again soon. But it was very interesting based on what you just said about the police officer saying that they would. He's seen a lot of stuff, and his opinion of people and the city that we live in is dramatically different from what I would assume most normal citizens would think it is.
And I think it completely changes your schema because, I mean, we talked about in our stranger danger episode, just the world is a safe place generally. And most people are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But, well, I just look at my uncle who is an RCMP officer who, like, my parents literally were only able to move to one neighborhood in the city that they lived in because he
knows,
well, town, I guess, if it's RCMP, but he knew. He's like, no, that's a druggy part. And no, there's break-ins here. No, there's this and this and this. And like that whole family, like it's just they see the world as a scary, dangerous place. And I think it shifts. Plus, there's so much trauma. First responders go through so much trauma. And I think it just was so much during COVID. I do work with a lot of first responders, and the amount of trauma that I see in them now than before COVID, like it's just unbelievable.
One of the things you mentioned that was kind of interesting was that in terms of dealing with what they went through, he did actually call out, because he's going through some injury stuff, right? He's dealing with some long-term injury stuff. And he did reference, he's like, yeah, no, like there is in the units that I was a part of and the people that I associated with in the force, the service, were specialized units, right? He worked a lot with tactical, he worked a lot undercover, he did a lot of these different things, which are highly specialized. And to his description, very stereotypically macho. And he recognizes now, had he been more comfortable or had the environment been more receptive to, are you okay? No, something's going on. Let's get it dealt with. He probably wouldn't be in the situation he's in now. Right? Which is, that to me is the saddest part, because it's not a surprise, right? Shake it off and move forward. But he was doing that right up until the most recent health issue that he's dealing with, where it wasn't until he could no longer hide the effects of the injury that stuff started to get done with him. Right. And by then it's too late. Like he's dealing with irreparable stuff now, right? That he's going to, I mean, no, I shouldn't say irreparable, but much longer recovery stuff at the very least. And he sees that. Like, I wish I had been able, or I thought I was able to say, no, I'm not good. Like I need to take some time and get myself sorted and then come back 100%, as opposed to powering through. Right. So it is interesting to say that. But anyway, that's a total sidebar.
Yeah, no, and I think there's so much there that we could explore, but I'll just get to the last couple here. So we talked about creativity, respect for authority, teaching respect for authority, and 50, crisis preparedness, preparing for emergencies and safety protocols. This must be an American list.
Yeah, totally. It's all fear-based.
Yeah. Anyways.
So does that mean we got to dig a shelter in the backyard?
I would love to.
Yeah.
With tunnels. I still want to do my Ewok village at the cabin where we can do, because we've got, so the neighbors who have tree houses, we could do like a little Ewok village, but then underground tunnels. Awesome.
At the cabin?
No, here.
Oh.
There we can have our above ground.
Did you hear about the Jewish synagogue in New York that they discovered the congregation, I guess, had created tunnels to illegally come and go from it during COVID when it was all shut down?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know all the details of it, but I saw it was funny. It made me laugh. Because it all started because some dude posted a video of literally a Hasidic Jew coming out, full hat, robe, curls, literally crawling out of the sewer and running because he didn't want people to know that that was the entrance.
Oh.
It was really funny.
I love tunnels. Anyways.
Yeah, I like turtles.
I don't know. I'm just into that kind of stuff. Like when we went to Germany.
Oh, Germany. Yeah. The bunker.
Yeah. And I think in Paris too, just all the and in Vietnam, we went through all of those tunnels
we do a lot of underground tourism.
I love that stuff. I love it. The Vietnamese ones were the coolest because they lived down there.
Yeah, they have full cities down there.
Yeah, it was
the catacombs are weird.
Full of all, I think that was Paris, hey, with all the Paris, skulls and
which weren't allowed to touch for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
the bunker was something else too.
Yeah,
but in a different way.
Yeah. Alrighty, we will leave it there.
All right.
Thank you. Good day.
Good day to you.